Don't let anyone intimidate you that if Ezekiel died, maybe the church is going to die. The church is not going to die because it's not Ezekiel's church. I'm just a servant in his church. It's not my church. It's his church. He started himself, used me, but it's not my church. I never say it's my church. I never say I'm Jesus. I'm only a servant of God.
It's something that we all do all the time. Amen. It's not new to all of us. Yeah. Everyone here did something along the lines of grooming before you came here. Yeah. Grooming is the things that you do to make yourself look nice, to make yourself look presentable. Etiquette is how you behave around other people, how you present yourself to other people, the things you do, the things you say, so that you might be acceptable. So those are the things that I'll be touching on. So the topics I'll cover, I'll be using that presentation as a guide for most of the things that we'll talk about. So if you can't see, you might be better maybe moving a bit aside so that you can see what we'll be talking about. Yeah. So, of course, we'll have the introduction. We'll talk about the importance of grooming and etiquette. And we'll talk about the etiquette around how to host a guest. When you have a guest in your business, when you have a guest at church, how to host a dignitary. That comes through. And then we'll also talk about understanding your body. And then we'll be talking about your dressing. How you must dress your body to understand your body type. And how you must dress it. What is etiquette? Etiquette is a set of rules and conventions governing correct or polite behavior in society. Now, when we are in society, there is a certain behavior which is expected of us. When people see you, they have an expectation of how you must behave. There are rules, even though the rules are not written. There are rules that are there where you are expected to be polite when you're speaking to people. When you're expected to say good morning when you see someone. I remember a long time ago we used to get on the bus. I don't know if there's still buses today. There are no more buses, there are combis now. But when you're on the bus, you're expected to get up and give your seat to a senior person to sit down. Those are rules that are there. They're not written down, but that's etiquette. Society has those rules. They are not written down, but you are expected to follow them if you want a good standing in society. Amen. It is a set of rules and norms that guide how you interact with your colleagues, your clients, your partners in a professional setting. Amen. So even when you are in a business, when you're in a business setting, there are certain behaviors that are expected of you. Certain things that are expected of you in business for your colleagues to look at you differently. Amen. For your business colleagues to appreciate you. There are certain behaviors that are expected of you. These rules are not written, but they are expected of you. Amen. This helps for you to get a good reputation. It gives you better relationships. It gives you better results in business when you have good etiquette. Amen. Etiquette is the way you handle yourself as a part of society. It is essentially the sum of your behaviors and how they measure up with other people's expectations. In other words, as you are doing what you are doing, people have an expectation. And people are always measuring to see the way he's behaving and the way we're expecting. In other words, are you going to perform according to expectation? Whether we like it or not, all of us are being judged. All of us are being judged every single day according to what people expect from us. Amen. What is the importance of etiquette? Etiquette helps to bring social harmony. The way you live with other people is improved when you have good etiquette. Right. You cohabit with other people better when you have good etiquette. Yeah. It removes misunderstandings, it removes conflict, it removes offense. When you have good etiquette, for example, if there is a queue of buying some bread in a shop, and you come and jump the queue because of no etiquette, that increases your conflict. That increases your offense with other people. You have problems when you don't have good etiquette. Good etiquette also improves your professional success. Professionally, as you are doing your business, when you are courteous, when you go to a bank, maybe applying for an account, applying for a facility, They look at you better when they see that you have a good professional etiquette. They rank you higher, and it adds to how they view you as a financial institution. Cultural respect and inclusivity. Those that have good etiquette have respect for other people's culture. They accommodate others because you have good etiquette. You don't say bad things to other people because they eat snakes. You don't say bad things to other people because they eat snails. We accommodate others when we have good etiquette because we respect them for who they are. So good etiquette makes you inclusive. It allows you to cohabit with others better. Now, there is what they call verbal and non-verbal communication. When you are speaking to someone, people hear different things. Let's take an example when you're speaking to your wife. And here we're still talking about etiquette. Now, etiquette means that you know how to behave. You know how to handle your body. There are things that you can do with your body, not knowing the message that you are sending across to the other person. You haven't said a word, but your body is saying something to someone else so that when they speak to you, they can say, did you say something? No. But your body language was saying something that left people with questions. That's all a part of etiquette. So there's a guy called Albert Medabine in 1971 who did a research on face-to-face communication. And he says when you are speaking to someone, when you say words to someone, 7% of what they hear is the words that you have said. 7% is the words that you have said. And 93% is the non-verbal communication that they hear from you. 7% is the words, 93% is the non-verbal communication. Zvausina kutaura nemuromo wako, zvawataura nemuviri wako ndo zvaakunzwa sitele kufura masoko ako. Ndosaka munhu achiti vabvuma havo asi handingotanzwanana. Because the body was saying a stronger message than your words. And this is why it's important for you to have good etiquette, because your body can be sending messages without you knowing. You might be saying certain things without you knowing. I'll give you an example. I said I'll give you an example of you maybe speaking to your wife. And I think we always have arguments sometimes with our wives at home over small things. Let's say your wife asks you for money. And then you say to her, not now. Okay? Not now. With your hands like this. With your face frowning. She'll say, and then you say, not now. Not now. But she'll say, so that now the message is your facial expression and what you clap your hands. That's what she has heard more than the words themselves. So this makes it critical for us to understand how to behave with our body, even in business, so that you're not sending a message that you're not aware of. If you're with me, say more. Right. We'll also touch on grooming. What is grooming? Grooming, these are the things that you do to make your appearance clean, neat. These are like brushing your hair, brushing your teeth. We all understand grooming. We all know what we need to do for us to look good. Grooming is your statement to the world. This is what you're telling the world about yourself. When you dress well, the world respects you as a well-groomed person. When you dress shabby, the world refers to you as that shabby guy. So grooming is your statement, what you want the world to know about you. Your dressing is what you want the world to know about you. Always being clean, always being smart gives you a good image. The importance of grooming is that it gives you a good professional image. People respect you better professionally when you are well dressed. If you don't believe what I'm saying, go into a bank dressed shabby, see how they will handle you. Go and look for a tender dressed shabby, see how they will handle you. Grooming improves you professionally. They don't know who you are, but the way you have presented yourself, they just think, so how you present yourself in grooming, it improves you professionally. It also improves your personal hygiene. It helps to prevent illness and maintain good health. When you're always clean, your hygiene improves. When you always brush your teeth, your hygiene improves. When you don't brush your teeth, you end up getting sores and warts on your gums. Your hygiene is going down. When you don't keep yourself clean, you get diseases because you are dirty. So grooming improves your personal hygiene. It also pushes up your social esteem. When you are smart, you are more confident about yourself. When you get to people, you are more confident about speaking to other people because it improves your confidence. First impressions. There are 4 ways and only 4 ways in which we have contact with the world. We are evaluated by the world on how we look, which is grooming. What we do, that's etiquette. What we say, etiquette. And how we say it, that's also etiquette. So this is summarizing that grooming and etiquette is your sum total. That's who you are as a total. Amen. Now, let's say you have a business and you're hosting a guest. Maybe you call a member of parliament, maybe you call a councillor, maybe you call a minister to your business, and you want to know, how do we handle these important people when they come to the business, to our business? Or maybe it's those people that want to give you a tender. It's a buyer from another company who's coming to visit you at your company, and you want to know, how do you handle them? What is the professional way of handling them? What is the etiquette around handling a delegate in business? First of all, you must introduce yourself. Okay? Now, when you introduce yourself to someone, you must introduce yourself in full, not half-half. What I mean by that is that, let's say the member of parliament has come through to your business to see what you're doing, or whoever you've invited, and you say, oh, my name is Ray. The next thing is that guest will ask you, Ray who? No, sorry, it's Ray Chikore. Oh, okay. What do you do? Oh, no, I'm the CEO here. Oh, okay. Sorry, what's the name of this company? Oh, no, sorry, this company is called Peacock Holdings. You must not introduce yourself in bits and pieces. You must introduce in full. My name is Ray Chikore. I'm the CEO of this company, and this company is Blue Peacock Holdings International. So that your guest has no questions after they are done with your introduction. You must always introduce yourself in such a way that it's complete and your guest is sure they're speaking to the right person. When you introduce yourself in pieces, at the end of the day, your guest is not too sure, is this the right person I'm speaking to? I'm not too sure. Okay? So number 1, introduce yourself in full. Number 2, don't be the first to stretch your hand if you are handling high-level dignitaries. Aikona kukurumidza kutambanudza ruoko rwako kana uchihandla high-level dignitaries. Pamwadezwa kuna minister, pamwadezwa kuna president. Allow them to show you that they are ready to shake by them stretching out their hand to you. Then you quickly shake them back. When you push out your hand, if they don't want to shake your hand, it will be embarrassing for you. This happened once at some event. It was during COVID. And someone was quick to try and shake the president, and the president didn't shake. They didn't push out their hand. And one of the president's aides had to ask the president to say, I don't think you will go away. But the cameras are watching. How embarrassing is that? So when you have high-level people, don't be quick to stretch your hand. Wait for them to stretch their hand. When they have stretched, then you quickly stretch out your hand. So you must be alert, prepared to respond to them. Make sure your hands are not wet. Some of us, we have hands that sweat. Okay? Some of us, naturally, we sweat in our hands. Always make sure that your hands are dry, so that when you're stretching out to greet them, you have dry hands and not wet hands. If you have been to the loo, please ensure that you dry your hands first. Amen. Don't come from the loo with wet hands and try and greet a dignitary. It's considered unprofessional. If you're with me, say more. Make sure that your handshake is firm but not too tight. When you're shaking them, have a firm handshake but not too tight. Shaking someone is not an opportunity for you to show someone that you are strong. Just give a firm handshake, but not too tight. Do not keep holding their hand when they release. Sorry, do not keep holding their hand. They will release you when they are done. When you are greeting a dignitary, pay attention. When they let go, quickly let go. Don't keep holding them because you still have a few more things to say and you keep shaking and you want to explain something to them while you're holding them. Pay attention to them. When you hold them, when you feel they've released, quickly let them go, because that means they are done shaking your hand. The only person who's allowed to continue holding your hand shaking is if they are the ones who continue holding you. Then you can continue shaking. But if it's you, when you continue holding them, it's like you're holding them hostage. You're with me, say more. So let's pay attention to those things. When they want to let loose, quickly let them loose so that they can move on to the next thing. Now I think we've seen examples of when our president is traveling, when he gets to the aeroplane and he's bidding his other counterparts goodbye. Sometimes he can hold someone's hand for a long time because he's explaining something. Thank you. We want to welcome our Secretary General. We want to thank God for his presence. We may take our seats. So I was saying, when our president is traveling, I think we've seen times when he's shaking someone. He can continue shaking by the aeroplane before he gets on the aeroplane because he is saying something. But his subordinates, his juniors can't do that to him. And it's the same. When you have a guest, you can't do that to your guest, but your guest can do that to you. Keep a simple handshake, don't go fancy. Simple handshake, don't go fancy. Just a simple handshake. You don't shake it, then you try and change it, then you try and... When you're greeting dignitaries and honorables, it's a simple handshake. And we don't go fancy, okay? Now, there's what they call personal space. Now, every person has got personal space, and personal space is 2 feet, which is like 60 centimeters. Now, you are supposed to make sure there's always that space between you and your guest. When you come into this space, you are said to be in the space of your guest. Okay? So that's like 30 centimeters away from you is where your hand should be, and 30 centimeters from the handshake is where your guest must be. Try and always keep that distance between the two of you. Anything closer than that is said to be too close professionally. And you find sometimes if you come into that space, you can see them taking a step back because they're trying to create that space between you and them. So we should not continue to say, they've moved back, so let me follow. They are trying to create this gap between you and them. Okay? Let's maintain the professional space. Okay? If you are given a hug, quickly let go and get out of their space. So you can come close, greet them with a hug, but come back out and give them back their space. Make sure your perfume does not intrude in other people's space. When your perfume is too strong, sometimes even when you're 60 centimeters away, it's too strong that the next person still wants to move away again. Make sure your perfume is a good amount, a good dose, which does not make other people feel like you are in their space. If you're with me, say more. Now, when you're walking your guests, maybe you're touring them, your premises, you're showing them around, showing them what you're doing. Your guest must be on your left or your right. Who can tell me your left or your right? Yes? Your guest must always be on your right. Now, these things seem like they don't matter. But when you then get in that environment where there are people who know these things, they will see that you know, or they will see that you don't know by how you be behaving. When you are with honorable guests, always make sure they are on your right. That's the right hand rule. When walking, keep your guests on the right. This is traditional and it stems from historical practices where individuals of a higher rank or importance were often positioned on the right. Avoid walking too close to them. When you're walking with them, walking around with them, don't walk too close. Let's keep that personal space. And always try and match the guest's walking pace, how they are walking. Don't walk faster than them and leave them behind, because your etiquette is sending a message to say, don't walk behind them, allowing them to walk ahead of you, because your etiquette is saying, so always look at their pace and follow their pace as they are walking. Okay?
Amen.
It's considered to be disrespectful or inconsiderate when you don't try to match your guest's pace. Sitting arrangement. Now it's time for you to sit down. Maybe you're sitting in a boardroom. We maintain the same order. Okay? Where your guest is sitting on your right. If your guest has come with their spouse can sit on their right. And if you have your spouse can then sit on the other side, extreme right. And then that means you are sandwiching your guest. You are next to the guest and your wife is sitting next to his spouse. When it's time to introduce your guest, you must always do this yourself. Never allow anyone who's junior to you to introduce your guest. It's said to be disrespectful. Know the full name and title. Rehearse the full name. Practice the full name and title. Some of us are dealing with Chinese companies, Chinese investors. Some of us are dealing with German investors, African investors. Practice that name before you say it, so that you don't make a mistake. When you make a mistake on someone's name, some people take it very strong. It's said to be very offensive. So take time to know the full name and title. If it's at a gathering and your guest is supposed to say something, always brief them on what you want them to talk about. Amen. Always brief them on number one, the topic they should talk about. Brief them on how long they should talk for. Yes. Okay? There are times when guests have gone way beyond their limits. It's because you haven't coached them enough. So brief them on what they should talk about and brief them on how long they should take as they are talking. When your guest is speaking, show enthusiasm, because it's you who has invited them. Yes. Show enthusiasm as they are talking, so that they see that you support what they are doing. Yes. It is your guest who has come through. You have invited them to do whatever they are doing at your event. Maybe they've come at your, maybe it's your Christmas party at your company and they're saying something. You, as the host, must show enthusiasm and excitement to say, yes, you are saying the right thing, because it gives confidence to your guests. Okay? Now, when you are with your guest, you have to whisper a few things, because they will be asking you a few things as you are sitting together. Okay? They will be asking you, and you need to whisper back to them. That means you must have good breath. Good breath. You must ensure that you have good breath. Because now it's easy to pick up any bad breath from someone who's whispering close to you. Okay? But at the same time, avoid chewing any gum. As your guest is exiting, always make sure that you walk them out personally. Don't leave your juniors to do this for you. When you send someone else to escort your guest, it's like you're not happy by their performance or their presentation. It's like a message you're sending to them to say, so you must personally escort them to their car. It's good for you to give them gifts. It's good for you to, to take a photo before they leave. Create a small gift for them. Maybe it's a picture frame, or maybe it's a Bible, or whatever you can come up with. Just have a small gift every time you have a guest who has visited you at your company and they're about to leave. And it's always good to take a good photo with your guest, so that you keep the memories of their visit. Now, don't leave until your guest has driven off. When you are in the car park, you stand there until the car is driven off. You wave, then you go back in. Don't let them wave and they see, it's a sign, it's a message. It's a message that you couldn't wait for them to leave. Okay? So always wait for them to drive off. Do's and don'ts of meetings. When you're in a meeting, don't sit with your legs crossed like that, with your leg close to your knee. This is not not a professional way of sitting. Okay? If you want to cross your legs in a meeting, this is how you sit. You must cross your knees like that. Your legs must cross such that your knee is above the other knee. That's the professional way of sitting if you are in a meeting. When you sit this way, the person who's next to you can see under your foot, and that's rude. Okay? So if you want to cross your feet, that's how you cross your feet. You cross your feet by the knees, or you cross your feet by the ankles. If you're with me, say more. Now, when you want to sit with your legs wide open, the width of your legs must not be wide to make it seem like you are the only male. Okay? You must have a good distance between your knees if you decide to sit with your legs wide apart. I'll show you just now how you should sit. And number two, you must never slouch in your chair like that with your legs crossed in that position. That is not a professional way to sit. If you want to sit, number one, you can see the man who's holding the placard in the air. You must make sure the distance between your knees, okay, is not too different from the width of your shoulders. That's how wide you should open your legs. It should never be too wide. Just make sure there's a decent distance between your knees, which is not too different from the distance between your shoulders. And you must always sit up straight like the first gentleman. If you're with me, say, boy. Don't put your hands in your pocket. Unknowingly, you are sending a message. There are people who are sensitive. When you're speaking to them with your hands in your pocket, they think you're trying to tell them something. Okay? Avoid speaking with your hands in your pocket. Is considered to be pride. Okay? When you're speaking to someone and you're folding your hands, crossing your arms like this, it's like you're not receiving what someone is telling you. We're talking about the things that you do and you don't know what they are saying. Someone is explaining and you are like this throughout. Okay? It's said in business that it can be an indication that you don't really agree with everything that they're saying to you because you're closed up. Okay? These are signals that other people pick up in our body language. Maintain good eye contact. When you're speaking to someone, people want you to have good eye contact. Pay attention to what they're saying. Look at them. But don't stare. There's a difference. When someone is talking, you can look at them. But when you stare, it's like you are continually looking and you are not blinking throughout. Now that means you don't believe anything they are telling you. It means you don't believe anything that they are telling you anymore. When you continually stare with a strong look into their eyes. It must be a gentle look, but at the same time always ensuring that you are paying attention. So now we are going to talk briefly about our body types. We've been talking about etiquette. Now we want to talk about dressing. We want to go through it quickly. Now, as we go through these different body types, I want you to try and identify where you are. Okay? Where is your body? You must know your body so that you know how to dress it. If you don't know your body, you won't know how to dress it, and you will continue to get clothes that don't suit you. So I'll go through these and then I'll come back and I want to see if you have identified who you are. Now, the first guy is called the inverted triangle. These are your strong, muscular guys. They are big on top, okay? And then they taper in on the waist. They get smaller on the waist. Normally, your bodybuilders are normally, that type of person where they are big on the upper body and they get smaller as you come to the waist. All right? And then we have people that are called the normal triangle. First was the inverted triangle. The next one is the normal triangle, where your shoulders are not so broad. Okay? Your shoulders drop a little bit. But your waist, you have a bit more weight on your waist going downwards. Alright? So in other words, your shoulders drop, coming to a waist which is a little bit wider. Right? The next guy is the rectangle. The rectangular guy is the guy whereby your body or the distance between your shoulders and your waist is not too different. Okay? There's no strong definition to say the upper body is bigger, the waist is smaller. Alright? Then we have the trapezoid. Now these are the guys that have the body that dresses well in any suit. They don't struggle with suits because of the nature of their body. They're not too big on the upper body and their waist also doesn't come in too much. So they just have a good fit for suits. And then we've got the blessed guy, okay, the blessed guy. This is the guy that's blessed with a bit of weight on the middle body. This is a good thing because blessed guys also look very good in suits. And I'll show you just now. So, have we heard these body types? Have we heard it as I was explaining? Transfer more body types? Yes. If you're an inverted triangle, put up your hand. How many inverted triangles do we have? The big guys, the muscular guys. No muscular guys here. This whole zone has no muscular guys. We'll import some from Harare for you if there are no muscular guys here. Any triangle guys, the guys whose shoulders are not so wide, but they're a bit wide on the waist. Any triangles? Okay, any rectangles? Many rectangles, eh? Any trapezoids, those guys who don't struggle with suits. Any suit you wear, it just suits you. Everyone wants to be a trapezoid. Any blessed guys here? Any blessed guys? Guys who are bigger around the waist, any blessed guys? Okay. So here's how you must dress your body. If you are the inverted triangle, you are the strong guy. Okay? What you are trying to do is to remove attention from your upper body because you are big on your upper body already. So as you dress, you must pay attention to ensure that you are removing attention from your upper body and you're trying to move it downwards. Okay? Now, horizontal stripes. These are stripes that go like this. When you wear those stripes there, help to widen your waist. Your waist looks a bit wider when you wear clothes like that. Because what you want to do here is to make your waist look a bit bigger. You are big on top and you are slim here. And you want this part to look a little bit wider. So that when you're dressed in a suit, your body looks balanced. Because you are big on top, you look unbalanced. Because maybe sometimes your legs are slim or thin. So you look like you're not balanced. So the aim is to widen your waist going downward so that you look balanced. Horizontal waist, horizontal stripes is an idea that you can also use to balance out your body. Slim fit shirts are good because your body looks good, okay? But just make sure they're not too tight because it's easy for you to bust a seam because of your muscles. It's easy for you to rip a shirt because you are big, right? Double-breasted jackets are good because a double-breasted jacket has a lot of fabric here on the waist. One flap goes like this, another flap goes like this. So this additional fabric is helping your waist to look a little bit wider. Hence, it's giving you structure. Okay. So double-breasted suits are good for these big muscle guys. Then your trousers should not be tight, skinny pants because it still makes you look like a big guy on two sticks. Right? So you need trousers that are straight. Not tight trousers, but trousers that are straight, that give you a bit more weight on your legs, that make you look bigger on your legs. If you're with me, say more. Now these people look very good in casual way. Whatever they wear, casually, they look good, but they should just make sure they don't wear tight stuff because of their body. It just needs to be a little bit loose so that their muscles don't struggle to move around. If they are to wear jeans or chinos, they must make sure that these are comfortable and that they are not tight. The triangular body, now this is the guy that we said does not have broad shoulders, okay? His shoulders drop and the waist is a bit wider. What you want to do with this body type is to make your shoulders look bigger, okay? So that there is structure going upwards. From your waist, there is structure going upwards. So from your waist so that you're not coming inwards, right? Here are some of the things that you should do. A tapered single-breasted jacket is good for you. When we say tapered, like the jacket that I'm wearing, okay? Tapered means that it's coming down, with an inward slight curve. Inward slight curve. Because you want to make it seem like your waist is a little bit thinner than your upper body, okay? A tapered single-breasted jacket is good for you. Highly structured shoulders, you need to pay attention to your shoulder pads. You must have good shoulder pads so that you are creating the shoulders that your body does not have. So if you have tailors who make suits for you, just emphasize a bit more on your shoulder pads. Dark colors are good for you because they help to cover, some of the body irregularities that you might have. Pinstripe suits are good because when you have straight lines on your body, it makes you look tall, it makes you look bigger. Peak lapels are good. Peak lapels are this on a jacket, okay? These are peak lapels. These are good because they bring attention to your upper body. We want to bring more attention to your upper body and make it look bigger. So these lapels help to make you look bigger if you have them on your jacket. Pleats are good for your trousers. It gives you space when you're sitting down. White collars are also good for you. They also bring more attention to your upper body. And straight leg dress pants. Don't get tight pants if you're this body type. Get straight legged pants with a very small tapering if you must. What you must avoid is tight fitting shirts. Because of your body, don't wear shirts that are too tight. Because it will bring out the fact that your shoulders are not broad enough. Bold prints are to be avoided because they also exaggerate those parts of your body that you don't want to exaggerate. Avoid flashy belts. When you have this kind of body, you are wider on the waist. So when you wear a flashy belt, something that shows a lot here, you are bringing attention to your waist, of which we want to push attention away from your waist. Okay? So avoid flashy belts and also avoid double-breasted jackets. A double-breasted jacket is bringing more size on your waist because there's more fabric that you're introducing to your waist. We want your waist to look slimmer and your upper body to look bigger. If you're with me, say more. The rectangles. Do we have any rectangles in the house? Can we have one rectangle to come forward? Yes. And Pastor Maisha, if you're there, you can also come forward. Yes, no, you can stay here. So, like I was saying, the rectangular body, these are the people whose width is not too different from their waist. As you can see, the shoulder width and the waist width is not too different. So what you're trying to do is to give the body structure because you are almost straight. Okay, you don't have too many curves, right? But you want to give your body a few curves. You want your body to look a certain way. Okay? So if you can see how he is dressed and how he is dressed, I'll give an example of him because of what I want to say. You see that his jacket is tapering inward just a little bit. Can we see that? Right? That's what you want to create. You want to create this picture so that you are removing the squareness. It's coming out a little bit on the top here, and it's coming out a little bit here, so that you're creating more structure to your body. Right? If you pin your jacket, yes, this tapering, that's what we want to create. Okay? So that it does not look like a rectangle anymore. Right? So the best thing for a rectangular body is a single-breasted jacket. He's wearing a double-breasted jacket, but he has done it well because even though he's double-breasted, he has achieved in bringing that structure to his body. Shoulder pads, you must ensure that you've got good shoulder pads because you want to broaden your shoulders, like how it looks here. Slim jackets, arms are good for you. Now, slim jacket arms are good because they help to create distance between your body and your hand. If you have hands that are loose, okay, it will look like it's a continuous body all the way to the end of your hand. But when you have slim handed jackets, it creates this space that you can see and it gives structure to your body. So you can also adjust. Yes, you're going to say more. Tapered dress pants. Your pants, as they come down, they must not be straight like the big guys. They must come inwards because your body is not that big on the upper body. You can play around with prints with this body, like you see. He has played around with prints on his body. It still looks good because of his body type. What to avoid? Horizontal stripes. Don't wear stripes that go downwards because those will exaggerate that rectangleness that we're trying to run away from. We're trying to create a certain structure on your body, so avoid horizontal striped suits. Sorry, horizontal is like this. I'm going like this. Double-breasted suit jacket, we've said you must avoid it, but he has done it well. You can do it like this, it works out. if you are able to bring out the structure that we want. Avoid baggy clothing and straight-legged dress pants. Make sure that your dress pants are tapering in a little bit and they're not straight. And avoid clothes that are baggy. Because when your clothes are baggy, they have nothing to hang on to because you are rectangular. So your fabric will just be hanging and it will bring you back to that rectangle that you don't want. Let's give them a big hand. Then we've got the trapezoid. Those guys that look good anyway. The guys that look good in suits. Can we have some to come forward? If you know you always look good in a suit. With the blessing Martino as well, is he here? Now, these guys with this body look good in anything. Okay? Whatever they wear, whether it's a long cut, slim fit, medium, they normally just look good in any suit. It will almost look perfect for them because of their body type. They don't have too much to adjust when suits are made for them. Okay? Now they can wear single-breasted jackets like what he has done. They can wear double-breasted jackets like what him have done, and the other two there, and they'll still look good. Well-fitted dress pants is always good for such people. Normally, you just need to worry about adjusting the height of the dress pants, and they'll still look good. Bold colors also look good with these guys. Pink stripe will look good with these guys. Horizontal stripes will also look good with these guys. They will not struggle with most of the suits. What to avoid? Because these people normally know that they look good in suits. They then end up wearing very tight clothes sometimes because they want to show off their bodies. Okay? So they need to avoid wearing clothes that are too tight in an effort to show off their bodies. Okay? Just make sure that there is decent space between you and your clothing so that it looks good. And some of them actually become lazy in terms of making sure that they adjust one or two things on their suit because they know it looks good anyway. So they should just put more effort in making sure that they maintain a good fit on the suits that they wear. Let's give them a big hand. Also in casual wear, they don't struggle, they fit into just about anything. They should avoid also very tight t-shirts, as this will get in the way of a good look at the end of the day if it's not well moderated. Now we'll finish off with the blessed body type. The blessed guy. Do we have any blessed guys in the house? We want to conclude. Any blessed guys in the house, come forward. Let's put our hands together for the blessed guy. Blessed guy. Now, if you can see that picture there, and if you can see these gentlemen, you will see that these guys can look very good in suits. They can look very nice in suits. Okay? Now, the best for these men is a tapered single-breasted suit jacket, like we were talking, to make sure that there's a little bit of tapering because you want to deal with the width which is here on the belly. So you want your jacket to taper in just a little bit to deal with that, so that you look like you've got a bigger upper body and also a bigger waist and a smaller belly area. So the inward tapering of your jacket, just very slight, will go a long way. Now, well-defined shoulders also goes a long way. Like you can see, shoulders are very clearly defined. Now, these help to broaden your shoulders, right, to deal with this space which is here. If from this space you come to small shoulders, it doesn't look good. So when you have broader shoulders, it helps now to deal with the width which is here to give your body a regular shape. Pinstripes are also good for these people because it makes them look taller. What you want is to give this tall image, okay? A taller impression of your body. So pinstripes can work. Dark colors are better for these guys. Bright colors are not good because bright colors exaggerate some of the weaknesses of your body that you don't want people to know. Pink lapels, this flap on your jacket, okay? These are good for these people because it brings attention to the upper part of your body. Straight-legged pants, as you can see, all of them are straight-legged pants. No one is wearing tight pants, right? Tight pants are not good for this body type because you look like you're big on the upper body and tiny on the lower body. So straight pants go a long way in giving your body good structure. Wider collars are good. Wider collars. Your collar must be wide. Because you're a big guy, you're bound to have a chubby face. When you wear a thin collar, it makes your face look bigger. But when you wear a wider collar, it makes your face look regular. Okay? Pleats are good for these men because you need flexibility as you sit and as you stand. Because we are blessed, remember? So we need to make sure that our trousers have pleats, and when we sit, they don't then pass the sim. Then sometimes people avoid ties, okay? In other countries, they actually prefer to wear bow ties throughout with this body type because they don't like the way the tie can come forward, with the belly. Right? So some prefer to wear bow ties instead, but it just depends on which country you're from. Other people go to work with a bow tie, right? But this should not be a problem if you are dressed well. Let's give them a big hand. I will conclude by saying, a wise man is strong. Yes, a man of knowledge increases understanding. Proverbs 24, verse 5. It's important for you to be wise and understand your body. Understand what your body needs. Understand how to behave when you're with people. Understand how to behave when you're having your business meetings, when you're having your business interactions. Because when you are equipped with understanding, then you have strength, you have power, and you know how to make things happen. Thank you so much. I've come to